microphone in front of you. I give myself no, looking at the situation, you'll be happy.
Yeah. Go Chibagame.
Ago. It's a making you. Me make an army. Mena she me. Mena she Jew. Nima Jew. Nama Jew. Waboloma wo. Yeboma wo trading for Sasiafia. Na ibusulubu mensa. Nai. On tell a nigga can want to me find you lie. On tell a man peak a hoyula. On tell a ye can you find you. On tell you what danger will be when you mean what check on your neighbor be a minute. Niji on a wall and mountain. I can never be a susumonic about be a pet. Okay, back in the Kumole can you. It's a be naked about fame, okay, while I'm in army. Surely money in army. I may be a ballet and I'm a tower pet. Come a bin work at you come if you any for money ham. I got your furniture, he like JP done. I will look me pet. No, I don't have a cook. You know, I have for money. If you surely more, if you know your then walk up pet, walk at now. I block no come on name. She then wake up to a blue. She more work a feel come. No was a gun. No was a gun of fame. Now catch a gun, I got it can't play. Or fame when you have a gun, I can't knuckle Gassipon or Boko. A buck or Heko. I can't let Robin be a fallen in your car pet. Beg on the former be. I can only yet at here, can yet at the home. Nay, for near pet. Not one left for money. If you should can't make the pet. Go by JD. Your body gun. Nobody will for 2 years for no offense 100 for money. I try to run him to have a no year for a grandma. Try no money.
Yeah, we are done.
No, qualify. Niga, Nima ni name. Since this is my first official visit to the palace, with your installation, I would like to start by congratulating you most warmly for your ascension to this very important traditional stool in Ghana. I'm not a stranger in this palace. In actual fact, in my bachelor days, we used to live not far from here. So I can consider myself as an area boy. And in the late 70s, I was also the manager for the Kingsway stores. That is also just a few minutes from here. So I'm your subject. And I think it is appropriate that I use this opportunity to assure you that I'll use all my resources at my disposal, my network, to make sure that you bring development to the Gas State. Secondly, I'd like to use this opportunity to express our deepest sympathies to you, Niga, Nime Name, on the passing of our Queen Mother very recently. may her soul rest in perfect peace. And I hope that when the opportunity arises, that I can also provide the modest support that would see her off befittingly. Thirdly, Niga, as my learned brother Ayukwe indicated, very soon the country will be going into a general election to elect a new leader to succeed our current president. We are aware that chiefs are not supposed to engage in partisan politics. But we also know that the interests of the country is your own interest. And that if Ghana prospers, the Ghana state will prosper. So I have no doubt in my mind that you are interested, directly or indirectly, as to who becomes the next president of our country. Niga, Nime, Name. In our party, our symbol is the elephant. And we know that the symbol of the Ghana state is the elephant. So, all Ghanas naturally belong to the MPP. Because there's a spiritual connectivity between our symbols. And it is appropriate on an occasion like this to recall in memory some of the stalwarts of our party who also are your subject, or who were the subjects of this state. And we recall Senior Obechebi Lamte, Peter Alajete, H.O. Lamte, Junior Obechebi Lamte, chairman, was chairman of the party. And then many others, Odoi Sykes, Lawyer Odoi Sykes, and the much younger ones, Ayukwe Otu, Ajri Blankson, and many others. And I think that the role that the Ghana community has played in bringing us to power must be appreciated by our own party. And so, if it is God's will that I lead this party and I become president, I'll make sure that Ghana's feature very prominently in the government that I will run. And I do so also for very strategic reasons. Because Greater Accra is a capital of our country. And it is the entry point into our country. And first impressions are important. And so it is in our own interest as a government to lift up the Ghana state. Secondly, the two most important challenges that confront us as a nation currently are maintaining a strong, resilient economy, and then secondly, creating job opportunities, particularly for our youth. Now, these two challenges cannot be dealt with significantly without transforming our country. Since independence, we've been to the IMF, I think 17 or 18 times. We are currently working towards receiving a package from the IMF. We have to reverse this trend. And the only way we can reverse this trend is to have a transformational leader. Who can move the country beyond growth to transformation. And in all humility, in all modesty, I believe that I offer that opportunity to move this country forward to transformation. Even without becoming the flag bearer of our party, I've put up a bold plan for the great transformation of our country. And I hope that even though you are not supposed to do politics, that you can talk silently to first the delegates of our party, to think beyond our party. I mean, breaking the 8 will be a historical feat, because this will be the first time that we'll go beyond 8 years in a political cycle. But it is important that we break the 8. But we can only break the 8 with somebody who has a proven record to deal with the 2 challenges that I've already alluded to. So I want you to speak silently to those of your subjects who will be voting as delegates in our party. And I also want you to be able to make a case, not only for me to stand as the leader of our party, but also to move on to the presidency of the nation. I want the Ghana state to lead me on this path and on this journey and stand solidly behind me. That is the Ghana state that is presenting Alan Kyerematen as the next president of our country. And as Nomos said when he was pouring the libation, I would also stand firmly behind the Ghana state and not leave you behind. So this is a solemn pledge. As I indicated, I'm your subject. And it is in my own interest and the interest of our party and the country as a whole that we lift up the Ghana state. Once again, I'd like to thank you, Nime Name, for taking this opportunity to receive us so warmly. And when the time arises, we will come back having sought your permission to talk to your subjects. And hopefully victory shall be ours. I thank you.
Numunaye efote sang. Nibi ne wie fin ya fi okita ke habo. Non minto ma Kenya menek bine. Je game penko. Simin ke je fin. I greet you all this day, and you are welcome to the palace of the Mantse. We thank you for taking this decision to run in this bid for the leadership of the MPP party. It is a bold step. Ghana is watching you. Whoever will win the bid must learn just 2 things. That you have to have social we will decide this election in 2024 because Accra is a pivot of the election. Accra is Ghana, and Ghana is Accra. Don't take us for granted. Build a social contract with the Gadangbe people, and you will see the light. Reiterating a number of people you have mentioned, Chebilante, Kwaje, and all. He's a great man who stood and fought for this party. If you win your bid, which we pray you do, don't forget the toil of these great leaders whose will, thought, and process made this party what it is today. Jadangbe is sad. Sad because of a lot of things that are being done against us. That is why I'm speaking in English today. Because I want you to hear. We are sad. We are sad about the way we have been treated in the capital. People just get up, go to a place like Agbogloshi, and start building. Why? Without any recourse to the traditional authority. Meaning no only. Come and walk away. If we share hang you hear a pardon no. None about Kenya G. What we want to tell you today is that I believe that in your manifesto, promote a national development agenda for the whole of the country, so that we will see that would not be shortchanged. And we pray that if your bid is successful, we think about our lands too. A release of it will make Dangbe very, very happy and in support of your claim.
Yeah, Abiasuma.
Laun adeka kome nena gbeneke fe yen kusun. Ewo be wo ye capital. Wo try whiskey. Wo ke whiskey. Laun efita ikeba. Abula wo ke nu e ba hane. Ne wo ke doko hun efita. Nglaun ye no. Ne wo ba tuna kan ni bi ayi. Gbejin no. Ni anga ye yo bi ene le bi obu. I'm
Yabuabian Samoa. I'm spokesperson and director of communications for the campaign. Now, this afternoon, you realize that something very important has happened here. The Ghana state has spoken. After Mr. Kyerematen demonstrated that the interest of the Ghana state is synonymous with the interest of the New Patriotic Party, and that if the New Patriotic Party breaks the 8, it will help the Ghana state. The president of the Ghana Traditional Council then said that it was important that we have a social contract with them. And then, of course, he insisted that everything to do with the Ghana state must start with the chiefs. Consultation, consultation, consultation. And we believe that understanding, that association, that pact has been arrived here in the palace. And therefore, as Mr. Kyerematen said, the MPP, with Kyerematen in leadership, will have the full support of the Ghana state as we move forward in the national elections to break the 8. Breaking the 8 is important because we need a continuity of good policies. We need a leader who is going to offer us transformative leadership. The important thing that came out was that we need a leader who is going to make things different from what we've always seen. Transformative leadership beyond growth. So we have economic growth, we have the job situation, but all of it will come about because we are going to have transformative leadership with the support of the Ghana state. On this note, I'll ask my colleague Catherine to say a few words.
The Ghana state has spoken, and they, in the embodiment of the Mantse, has requested a social contract with the New Patriotic Party, the government that will succeed Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. And he minced no words. He said, when you take over the leadership, remember the Ghana state. That in itself is an encouraging path for Alan Kyerematen, as he has done in the last 10 regions that we have visited, to urge on his leadership credentials, to share with the nation, but most importantly, to share with delegates that it is his time. It is his turn. He has waited patiently. He has followed the tradition, and he's sharing his loyal service and long service with the party, with first the traditional rulers of our nation. And we are so grateful that you are here today to witness it. Please share the good news with the rest of the nation. We thank you.
You will notice that we have here the Honorable Sylvester Tete, who is the MP for English, Botiano English Yamanfro. You have Catherine Afeku here, who is a deputy spokesperson and deputy director of communications for the Allen campaign. Behind me is Kofi Kapito, and Solomon Asante is the Greater Accra regional communications coordinator for the Allen campaign. And then you have Mr. Richard Nyama here, who is the deputy spokesperson and deputy communications director for the campaign.